In week 3 of the Hiller spring sports season, school may have been on break, but Hiller sports were in action. On Wednesday, April 17th, we had a Hiller baseball girls lacrosse doubleheader. 1-3 Hiller baseball met up with 3-3 North Attleboro for a noontime first pitch. The Hillers got things started in the bottom of the first.
Lined up and the pitch, and a bunt there, picked up by Corsetti, and he fumbles it, and a run will score. So Will Morgan going to reach, and a tough ball to make a play on. I'm going to score that a single. We'll see what the officials score it, but Pedroli around to score.
Hillers leading 1-0 into the bottom of the second.
Out there pinch running, that's Dylan Ruff. And this is going to be a slow roller up the left side. Run will score, throw to first, not in time. And the lead runner heading to third, and that's where he will stop. But a nice piece of hitting by Pedroli, an infield single. Hatherley around to score.
A 2-0 Hiller lead heading in to the top of the fourth.
Hatherley delivers. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Leg lift and the pitch. And there's strike 3. Gets Silva swinging, 2 away. Wind up and the pitch. And there's strike 3. Strikes out the side.
Derek Hatherley strikes out the side in the top of the inning, and the Hiller bats made some noise in the bottom of the fourth.
Leg lift and the pitch. He frames the bunt, and he got a piece of it. Up the third base line, throw to first, and it's thrown away. And Pedroli going to keep going over to second base, and he will safely reach. Hits that one in the air, over to center field. It'll drop in for a hit. And here comes another Hiller run. An RBI single for Mitch Simulus as Nick Pedroli around to score.
Hillers leading 3-0 into the top of the sixth. And Derek Hatherley had a perfect game and no-hitter going.
And he got him. Gets him looking. 1 away. And there is strike 3. Got him looking. Another strikeout for Hatherley. Jake Rotzi coming to the plate. And this is up the middle. Glove by the shortstop. Throw to first. Not in time. And Rotzi reaches via the single to break up the no-hitter. Up the left side. Nice play at short. Throw to third. And they'll get the force out over at third. A rare 6-5 force out for out number 3.
The perfect game was broken up, but Hatherley pitched into the top of the 7th, looking to earn the complete game victory.
And he makes contact over to short. It's bobbled, and everybody's safe. Error there allows Martello to score. Bannon up to third. Hit in the air, and it is caught by the right fielder, Charlie Petruni. And Derek Hatherley pitches a complete game. What a brilliant pitching performance it was.
Hatherley didn't get the shutout, but the lone run would indeed go down as unearned as the Hillers take the very impressive win 3-1. Derek Hatherley pitched an absolute gem, going all 7 innings, giving up 2 hits, 1 unearned run, and struck out 11 hitters. Nick Pedroli was perfect at the plate. He went 4 for 4 with the bat. Pedroli scored 2 runs and drove in 1. The Hillers improved to 2-3 on the season. Hopkinton followed up with a 13-9 road win over Medfield on Monday, April 22nd, and currently stand at 3-3 overall. Hiller girls lacrosse also hit the field this past Wednesday for a makeup game with crosstown rival Ashland. It was a 9-5 Ashland lead heading into the third quarter.
Mosier feeds it to Quebec. Good pass in front, and Bouvier puts it in. Loose ball picked up by Bouvier. Bouvier, open field in front of her. Closing in, takes it and rips it in. The Hillers right back in the game. Page Tripp sends it back. Here's McGinnis. Takes it and makes it.
The Hillers got within 2 towards the beginning of the quarter, but Ashland would score 6 straight in the third and end up taking the game 18-7. The Hillers fell to 2-5. Ashland improves to 4-2. We had a Hillers versus Algonquin Titans lacrosse doubleheader on Saturday, April 20th. To start the action off, the boys took the field for a 10 a.m. face-off. Both teams came into the game with a record of 4-1. The Hillers struck early and often and held a 5-1 lead with under 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter, but Algonquin stormed back. The quarter would end with the Hillers leading 6-4. About 90 seconds into the second quarter, Owen Champlin and the Hillers struck. Hillers go up 7-4, but Algonquin came back with a pair of goals of their own. It was a 7-6 Hiller lead heading into the halftime break. It remained a 7-6 game until just over 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Sam O'Brien snuck up the field so fast the cameras couldn't keep up. The goal put the Hillers up 8-6. Algonquin would respond with a goal of their own, and it was an 8-7 game heading into the final quarter. Algonquin came out firing in the fourth quarter. The Titans net a goal 38 seconds in to tie the game at 8 apiece. A little less than 5 minutes later, Owen Champlin finds Jake Guerin cutting down the middle. And boom, puts it in to make it a 9-8 game with 6:46 left to go. It stayed a 9-8 Hiller lead. Algonquin took their final timeout with 12 seconds left and looked to draw something up. And the shot is high and over, but they had a little time for another chance. Final shot of the game. Stuffed by goaltender Nate Burns, and the Hillers take the 9-8 win and improve to 5-1 on the season. John Sanda netted 3 goals for the Hillers in the win. Up next was the Hiller girls taking on Algonquin. Hillers leading 4-3 with under 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And the Hillers light up the Algonquin net. 3 straight goals, and it's 7-3 Hillers leading, but Algonquin struck back with 10 seconds left. It remained a 7-4 Hiller lead heading into the second quarter. In the second quarter, Algonquin nets a goal 24 seconds in to make it a 7-5 game. The Hillers responded with a pair of goals of their own to make it 9-5, but Algonquin would go on a streak for the rest of the quarter. They put in 4 straight goals, and at the halftime break, it was a 9-9 game. Algonquin kept the scoring streak going into the third quarter. They would net another 3 goals, and the Titans led 12-9 heading into the fourth quarter. After allowing 7 unanswered goals, the Hillers struck back in the fourth quarter. The Hillers tie the game with 3 straight goals. The game is tied at 12 apiece. With just over 9 minutes left in regulation, Algonquin broke the tie and went back up 13-12. The scoring stopped until just under 6 minutes left when Lucy Mato found some open space. Mato strikes, and we are knotted at 13 apiece. Algonquin found the net again at 2:32 left to go and went back up 14-13. Algonquin then struck with 46 seconds left and took a 2-goal lead. The Hillers weren't done. Off the face-off, Taylor Interante gets the ball and rushes up the field, and boom! She makes it a 15-14 game. Final seconds of the game. Algonquin is able to hang on to the possession, and for the 15-14 win, the Hiller girls fall to 1-6 on the season. Algonquin improves to 3-2. A tough loss for the Hillers, but a great effort by the young Hiller team. Two and 0 Hiller boys lacrosse battled 2-1 Westwood on Monday, April 8th. Wally Henneberry was on the call. It was a 8-8 game with 41 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Right, he's going to try to get in deep. Defense pulls him out, pulls it back in. Looks for a cutter, got a guy in the middle, yes! And we've got a goal for the Hillers to go up 1 goal just before the end of the third period. Great pass, and a Cooper Goodman with the goal, his first goal of the game.
Hillers led 9-8 heading into the fourth quarter.
If I were Kyle Harvey picking that ball with the long pole, I would have shot that from back here. But it doesn't matter. The Wolverines get a goal anyway on a disjointed defensive play by the Hillers, trying to get back on D. Moving the ball around. O'Brien's got it. He's going to rip a shot. He scores! He scores to give the Hillers the lead with 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Big, big goal for Sam O'Brien. Minute to go in the game. Hillers are up by 1. Ball gets taken away by Burns. Scooped up by Westwood. He puts it in. What a turn of events.
The fourth quarter ended in a 10-10 tie, forcing overtime.
He makes his move. Here he comes. Makes a move. Goes right, left, fakes, right, goes left. Turns. Looking right. Shoots. He scores! Del Ponte from behind the net makes his move and wins the game for the Hillers in overtime. A spectacular game where the Hillers come out on top 11-10.
Logan Del Ponte nets the game-winning goal about 1 minute into the sudden death overtime, and the Hillers improve to 3-0 on the season. A tremendous win for the Hillers over Westwood. The Hillers snap a long losing streak over a tremendous Westwood lacrosse program. Following a loss in Medfield this past Thursday, the Hiller boys lacrosse team enters Week 3 with a 3-1 record on the season. 1-1 Hiller baseball took on 1-1 Westwood Tuesday night. The game was tied at 4-7, 1 out in the top of the 8th with a man on base. Could the Hillers get out of it?
That hit him, and that'll bring in a run. Well, that is the last thing you wanted to do there if you were McCann. An automatic run there as Teixeira comes around from third to score. Harris up to third, Dayton to second, Chandler to first. And Hunter coming up to the plate for Westwood, but we're going to have a pitching change before that happens. Hillers have had a couple fielding mishaps this evening. And that is going to get away from the catcher. A wild pitch, another run scores.
Westwood plates a pair of runs and would end up taking the 6-4 win. Hiller baseball falls to 1-2. Also on Tuesday night, 2-0 Hiller softball battled 2-0 Westwood. It was a 2-2 game in the top of the 5th. The Wolverines came up with a plethora of runs in the top of the 5th. The 5-run top of the 5th would be all Westwood needed as they went on to take the win 12-6. Hiller softball, who will be on the road for their next 6 games, enters Week 3 at 2-1 overall. Hiller boys and girls outdoor track and field were also in action against Westwood on Tuesday. Here's a look. A good battle on the track and field course. The Hiller boys and girls both got the wins. Boys won 107-29. The girls won 96-40. Both teams are now 2-0 on the season. Hiller girls lacrosse hosted Medfield this past Thursday. Medfield would prove to be too much for the young Hiller team as the Warriors took the win 20-2. The Hillers are 1-4 on the season. Hiller boys tennis got shutout wins over Ashland and Westwood this week. The team now stands at 4-0 overall. The Hiller girls tennis team lost a close one in Westwood by a final of 3-2. The girls team has 2 wins and 1 loss on the season. On Monday, April 1st, Hopkinton Hillers girls lacrosse hosted their home opener versus Holliston. Hopkinton looked to get into the win column after starting off the season with a road loss versus Norwood. It was a 6-6 game heading into the 4th quarter. Bella Tomeno and myself were on the call.
Actually fall, so Hopkinton's going to have to be able to defend that.
Bouvier closing in, takes it, makes it.
And essentially exactly what Holliston did on the other end, but this time it ends up resulting in a goal. Rachel Bouvier does her own little impression of the last possession of Holliston, weaving inside and Gets it past gets past Langdon to maybe be the dagger with the clock ticking to almost under 4 minutes. 2 goals in 4 minutes.
Free shot here, and Bouvier puts it in.
And that's what Holliston's going to be chasing now. Down 8-6 with 4 minutes to go. I mean, it has to happen. You got to get as many shots as possible now down the stretch. But just can't fall.
Oh, look at that. There you go.
And that one does fall, right?
Anderson Hastings makes it 8-7 with it. Over to Bouvier. Bouvier has it knocked out. It's going to stay with the Hillers.
You know, if you're Hopkinton, you want it in the stick of Bouvier, and she's been huge for them today.
Over to Mosier. 5 seconds left. Mosier gonna take it around. She has a lot of speed. Drops it, but that'll do it. Hillers hang on. They get the victory 8-7 and improve to 1-1 on the season.
Hillers get the late goal and take the 8-7 win. The following Wednesday, the Hillers fell short on the road in Bishop Feehan and currently stand at 1-2 heading into week 2 of the spring season. On Tuesday, April 2nd, Hiller baseball and softball were at home. Baseball lost to Norwood 2-0. Softball took the win 8-3. Unfortunately, HCAM was not at the game due to weather. Following a bad weather-riddled first week of the season, Hiller baseball is 0-1. Hiller softball stands at 1-0. We recently caught up with head coach Shannon Alberry and talked about the softball season so far. Hello, everybody. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by head coach of Hopkinton Hillers varsity softball, Shannon Alberry. Shannon, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
Excellent.
All right.
Well, spring season has started. A bit of a slow start due to the crazy weather we've had, the sudden change back to winter. But it looks like finally we're going to get some spring weather and we can really get things going. But how's everything going so far, and how's the team looking?
So far, we're making the best of the weather that we have, and team's looking good. It's the first time in 3 years, I think, that we've actually had a returning upper class squad. So a number of girls that have been on the team for a while now. So we should be competitive this season.
Absolutely. And you got some great returning talent, such as Holly Paharik, who recently just had a nice little article in the Metro West Daily News as she made the, top 30 players to watch, I believe.
Yes, yeah, that's the one.
And she put up incredible numbers last year, and I'm sure we'll do the same this year. Tell us about your captains, Caroline Kane, Holly Paharik. I mean, it must be great to have that experienced leadership.
Yeah, so we have 3 captains. So Caroline Kane was also one of the basketball leaders this year too. So Caroline she's a calming presence for us. She leads by example. She always works hard to get better, makes every rep count. And so she's an extraordinary leader for our younger players that we have, and everybody looks up to her, including myself. Holly is just an all-around great athlete. I've said many times that if my own kids grow up, if my own daughters grow up to be like Holly, then I've done something right. So if they could be half of the kid that Holly is in terms of her work ethic, her commitment, her attitude, that's just she's a phenomenal human being and a phenomenal athlete. And our third captain this year is Ashley Callery, who also leads by example. She's someone that's really trustworthy and responsible, and looks out for everybody else on the team. And all 3 of them working together, they bring something really special to our field and to our team.
And there's a lot of new faces I see on the roster this season. Could you fill us in on any of the newcomers to the team?
Sure. So we were lucky to snipe from the baseball program, Caroline Osman, who's making the transition to softball this year. So she'll be a first baseman and catcher for us. Just working on her baseball swing a little bit. It's a little different. So she'll be new with us this year. She should see a lot of field time. We've also got a ninth grade pitcher, Addie Walls. So she throws pretty hard. So we're working on her with control and confidence, and so she should be able to see quite a few innings this year too. So those are like our two big names that we've added for the program this year that we think they'll be really good additions for us.
That's terrific. And you had one game so far against Norwood, a nice win. Can you talk about how that game went?
Yeah, so really really even start for us. I think it was 0-0 after the first inning, and it was a 1-1 game for a while, and then we were able to break it open with our offense. We just kind of figured out their pitcher and was able to wait back and drive in some long runs. For that game, Charlotte Holden played a really big role for us there, and she went 3 for 4 with a triple. So she got a number of RBIs in that game too. So our offense was really able to get some runs in, and so I was really proud of them for that.
That's excellent. It looks like you had some good pitching that day too against that tough Norwood lineup.
Yeah, Norwood, they're always good competitors. So yeah,
absolutely. Speaking of good competitors, you got some good competitors coming up this week. You got Ashland, Westwood, and Framingham. Can you talk about any of the opponents that you got coming up this week?
Well, today's going to be weird with the eclipse, so that's going to be something. So, but we always love playing against Ashland. They always have really great attitudes, and I think they've got a really young squad this year. So we'll look forward to playing against them. Tomorrow should be tough. We're going up against one of the league's best pitchers tomorrow in Bridget Mulkeen. So hopefully we'll be able to jump on early and score some runs and play the defense that we've been practicing. So that should be pretty good. And Framingham, they've got a new head coach this year, so they're under different leadership, but they didn't graduate much. They graduated some good talent, but they have a lot of talent coming back. So I think some of their pitching too. So that should be a really competitive game too there on Friday.
Absolutely. Should be a fun season to follow for sure. Very excited to get out there, cover some Hiller softball. It's looking like a great team this season. And I have to ask, who do you got in the big game, Purdue or UConn?
I'm going UConn. I'm sticking local here.
All right, Coach. I'm UConn all the way as
That's
well.
Right.
So
that's right.
Hopefully the local team could take it home once again.
Yeah.
But all right, Coach.
Well, we're looking about the women.
Yes. Who are you going for in that game?
That game, I was going for UConn. UConn against Iowa, but once Iowa took it, I knew South Carolina would win it all the way.
Yeah, I was going for UConn, and then once they lost, I was leaning towards Iowa. Caitlin Clark's story is just unbelievable. What a tremendous athlete.
Yes.
But Coach, we're looking forward to the season. Looking forward to seeing you at the games, and we'll catch up another time during the season, and we'll talk to you again soon. All
right. Thanks so much, Tom.
Also in week 1, Hiller boys lacrosse won a close game in Holliston by a final of 10-5. The Hiller boys followed up with a 7-6 road win versus Ashland and stand at 2-0 heading into week 2 of the spring season. Boys outdoor track and field picked up a win on Friday, April 5th. They defeated Medfield 86-50. The girls' outdoor track and field team also picked up a win over Medfield, 96-39. Josie Hopkins, Lauren Canty, and Emma Prisco won multiple events as Hiller boys and girls track and field teams both start the season in the win column. everybody. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by Hopkinton Hillers boys varsity lacrosse head coach Dan Norton. Dan, how are you?
Great, Tom. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, we're at the start of another season, another what should be exciting season of Hillers sports, and of course, boys lacrosse. Last year, the boys lacrosse team had a playoff appearance. They lost in the first round. They finished 10-9 overall. Good season overall for the team. How's the team looking this year? I know you lost a few players to graduation, but how's everything looking this year so far?
It's been great. Yeah, practices have been fun. I think the past couple years we've kind of had a younger team and been building up to this point. We have a great group of seniors, great captains, and a great group of 7 seniors that are doing an awesome job with leadership and practice, and the few scrimmages that we've had. So really excited for this group and the direction that our seniors are taking us.
Absolutely. Can you talk about your captains this year and tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah. So we have 2 offensive captains, 2 defensive captains. Wyatt Iantosca and Jack Preventure are 2 D-poles. So they're doing a great job leading on the back end for us. They're carbon copy, 2 bigger kids, rangy, very athletic, great communicators on the field, and they lead a lot by example, in terms of in how they practice and the communication and bringing other guys along with them. And then the 2 guys we have on offense, we have Logan Del Ponte and John Sanda. Logan plays attack, and John is a midfielder for us. Again, 2 great leaders. Logan, is kind of our main offensive threat, and John is a blue collar, lunch pail, 2-way midi for us that doesn't get a lot of the credit, but just one of those quiet lead by example. Great job in between the boxes on the offensive and defensive end for us.
Absolutely. And you had some scrimmages recently, and obviously a couple weeks of practice. What are some of the things that you worked on in these early practices and what skills are you looking for this team to develop here in the early goings?
Yeah, just tightening up our fundamentals. I think the group we have is really eager to master those fundamentals, which I think that's why it's going to be a great group of kids. What we've been working on is we installed a new offense this year. So we have a couple new offensive sets and some plays and things like that. Defensively, things are pretty much the same for us, and we have a lot of those guys back. So most of our focus has been on the offensive end and the early goings here. And the scrimmages were great. We scrimmaged Needham, Chelmsford, and Bishop Feion. All great programs, and it was very, very positive for us. We obviously saw some stuff we got to do a lot better, but in those scrimmages too, we learned some things that we're really good at, and kind of push our focus to as we get into game week. Today we have Holliston at 4:00.
Yeah, you got Holliston and Ashland here in this first week. Can you tell us about any of the opponents you have this week, Holliston or Ashland?
Yeah, we're really excited. Today, just speaking of Holliston first, they're always a very athletic team. We had a couple, really competitive games last year, and over the years, they always present a lot of challenges with their overall athleticism. So we're really looking forward to that. And then, after tonight, we'll turn the page to Ashland, which, again, same thing. They've, their numbers have been improving the past few years. And last year, honestly, they took it to us in one of the games. We were lucky enough to kind of come back and come out with the, on the right side of the scoreboard. But, another program that, those kids get jacked up to play us, and our kids do too. And, 2 very athletic programs this week with great coaches, and Bill Graham and John Mulvaney. So really looking forward to it. But first things first with Holliston today. Very excited to get going. got some good weather today. We'll enjoy it while it's here. It looks like the rest of the week is, got some rain or potentially even snow, but we're really excited to get going.
Yeah, those wild weeks at the beginning of April, you never know what you're going to get. I gotta ask, do you have any goals for this team this season, or things that you would like to see this team accomplish?
Yeah, I think just, this group has done an awesome job of, just regaining the respect around the league. And, trying to get back to where we feel we belong in the league. And, it's going to be done one game at a time. And our goals are, more process related. But, just the way we've been practicing, the way they've been handling themselves in school and with our youth program going down to help out. I'm a really proud coach of the characters that we have on this team. They're some really great kids. And, that's always our first and foremost goal. And then just to take it a day at a time.
All right, Coach. And I got to ask, who you got in the Final Four? Who do you think's going to take it in March Madness?
My bracket's busted. I had Tennessee. So I didn't want to, obviously UConn looks amazing, but I was, kind of went against the grain there and picked Tennessee. So they lost yesterday. that made me eat some extra ham yesterday. But yeah, Purdue looks really good. And I don't know if anybody's going to beat UConn though.
Yeah, I think UConn's going to take it again. It's been a fun tournament though. Should be a exciting finish. And Absolutely. It should be an exciting season for you guys, Coach. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us, and we'll certainly catch up again soon.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thanks for all the coverage and all you do for the athletes in Hopkinen. Really appreciate it.
The TVL League Awards were announced, and All-Stars for the Hillers included in Alpine Ski Lucy Mado, Lila Mado, Barry O'Brien, and Annalie Krantz, as well as J.B. Flynn. Congratulations on a great season to Hiller Alpine Ski. In boys basketball, Jack Iannelli, Sam Dedejian, Sam Pantera. Boys basketball won the TVL Large title and finished 17-4 after a loss in a close game versus Middleborough in the round of 32. For boys hockey, All-Stars included James Hayward, Connor Merkel, Steven Jackson. Boys hockey won the TVL Large title and finished 14-5 overall, falling just short in the round of 32. In boys swimming and dive, All-Stars included Caleb Burke and Davis Pishoff. Boys swimming and dive finished the regular season 4-3 overall. In boys track and field, All-Stars included Sean Finnegan, Ben Scott, Logan Sullivan, Harry Miller, Drew Bilobreski, Will Bilobreski. Boys track and field captured the TVL Large title and finished the regular season undefeated. In girls basketball, All-Stars included Elena Davies and Bethel Flanagan. Girls basketball finished 10-11 overall after falling short in the round of 32. In girls hockey, All-Stars included Avery Bent, Lucy Jean, and Riley Cholera. Girls hockey had a terrific season, but fell just short of the playoffs, finishing with 5 wins, 12 losses, and 4 ties. In girls swimming and dive, All-Stars included Olivia Scalora and also Eve Weatherhead. Eve was also named the Diver of the Year in the TVL. Congratulations on that terrific accomplishment to Eve Weatherhead. Girls swimming finished 3-5 overall. In wrestling, All-Stars included Anthony Butkus, Edwin Zhao, and Stephen Moody. Hiller Wrestling finished the regular season 3-3 overall. In girls track and field, all-stars included Lauren Canty, Alice Brambati, Josie Hopkins, Steph Johnson, and Elise Srodawa. Girls track and field finished their tremendous season 4-1 overall. The Boston Marathon took place this past Monday, April 15th. Here's a look at some of the scenes courtesy of Denise Antaki. It was a beautiful sunny day with temperatures in the high 60s. New England Patriots Super Bowl champion tight end Rob Gronkowski was the grand marshal of this year's marathon. It was the 100th start out of Hopkinton. The marathon was first ran in 1897 with just 15 people participating, 10 of which were able to finish the race. The Boston Marathon start line moved to Hopkinton in 1924 when the official distance of a marathon became 26.2 miles. This year, close to 30,000 athletes from 129 different countries participated. It was another successful year of the Boston Marathon. In the men's wheelchair race, Marcel Hug of Switzerland, aka the Silver Bullet, broke his own course record despite a slight crash towards the finish. Marcel Hug won the Boston Marathon for his 7th time and bested his 2023 record, finishing with a time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 33 seconds. Marcel Hug finished just over 5 minutes in front of second-place finisher, American Daniel Romanchuk. In the women's wheelchair race, a 22-year-old from Portsmouth, England, named Eden Rainbow Cooper won her first marathon with a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 11 seconds. Cooper finished 90 seconds in front of second-place finisher Daniela Shar out of Switzerland. In the men's elite runners race, Sise Lima of Ethiopia took his first Boston Marathon win with a time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 17 seconds. Sise Lema finished 41 seconds over second-place finisher Mohamed Essa. Evans Shabet from Kenya finished in third place. Seventh-place finisher CJ Albertson was the only American in the top 10 finishers for the men's race. In the women's elite runner race, it was a dramatic finish between the first and second place finishers. Helen Obiri out of Kenya took the win, finishing just 8 seconds before fellow Kenyan and second place finisher Sharon Lokedi. Helen Obiri took her second straight Boston Marathon win in the women's race at a time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 37 seconds. Congratulations to the Boston Athletic Association, the 26.2 Foundation, and the Hopkinton Marathon Committee on another successful year of the Boston Marathon, and also a big congratulations to all who participated in this year's race. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and now I am joined by Andy Barron. Andy, how's it going?
Good, Tom. How are you? It's good to be back and finally getting some good weather. No more 40 degrees and snow and sleet and rain. Tired of it. Done.
Absolutely, me too. And you got a beautiful day on Monday for the Boston Marathon, which you were volunteering at. How'd your experience go?
Experience went well. Almost 10,000 volunteers throughout the entire race. It really is surreal. Just to have that many volunteers, you have to put on an event of that magnitude. It was a beautiful day. I got to hear the flyover. I was under one of the big white tents that were in the Athletes Village this year. And it was where we donate clothes. People throw away their trash. We do recycling. and you try to funnel 30,000 runners through that athletes village, it is a surreal experience. And to see I think you saw some of the pictures you commented on the bags full of donated clothes that we had that go to
Yeah.
Big Brothers Big Sisters. That was only part of it, Tom. Those trucks drive the entire route and pick up all those clothes. It's really just you should volunteer at this event. Even if you're not even a runner, it's extraordinary. Our team captain also told us how the runners he was talking to says the reason why I come and run Boston every year is because of the quality of the volunteers. I've never heard somebody say that. So it makes me feel good that our work doesn't go unnoticed.
Oh,
Because there's no
absolutely.
way you can put on an event without
No.
volunteers.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm sure everybody from the athletes to anyone involved with the marathon, even just people watching. I did volunteer for the marathon, though. I voluntarily watched it. So, uh, but absolutely, I
And
will consider that. That would be
yeah,
fun, just to have that experience, be out there with the runners. It sounds like a great
it
time.
it really is. And my uncle used to own a car dealership and not own it. Sorry, he worked for a car dealership in Natick, and we used to go watch the race out there. Because if you have a business on the course, they don't open that day. They have a party. We had a barbecue, and you could used to be able to walk onto the course. You can't really do that anymore. But this is really a New England tradition.
Absolutely.
And it's an event. I tell people this, it's not really a race, it's an event. It's a spectacle. You had Rob Gronkowski, there's your Grand Marshal, Zdeno Chara running the race. You have all sorts of, I mean, one year somebody like crawled to the finish line the whole way. People have run barefoot, they've run backwards. It's just it's an event. It really is. But anybody who finishes Boston, doesn't matter, first or last place, is once you get in that book of results, I mean, there's really nothing better. And you get that medal wrapped around your neck. There's really nothing better. It's a surreal moment, and it takes everybody to make it work.
Well, once again, the Boston Athletic Association and everybody else who, of course, the volunteers and all others involved in planning this marathon did a terrific job. Did you run into Gronk at all?
I didn't. I did not. I was in the athletes village, so a lot of people don't realize this. It's zero point 0.7 miles away from the starting line. You're still way back there on Hayden Row.
It's at the
So
middle school, right?
we're at the middle school,
Yeah.
right? So in the past years, I've been down at the CVS. I've because that's really the last stop that people can make before they then get corralled into the four corrals, go to the starting line. So it's really just something. I was there bright and early at 6:30 in the morning. I left about noon. We have to take a bus over from South Street. So it's just the bus drivers. I need to commend the bus drivers. These people are unbelievable, Tom. Like busload after busload, dropping off runners, taking volunteers to the start. We couldn't do it without the bus drivers. I mean, it's really, I mean, just yellow bus after yellow bus coming in. It really is something. And I also want to throw this out there too. I sent you this stat a couple of days ago, and I know you were just really blown away by it. How the Kenyan runners have just dominated this marathon for nearly 40 years. Now, this year, Ethiopia won it, but still, Helen Obiri from Kenya wins on the women's side. She wins back to back. They are on a different level. It is, and when you see them run in person, it's just a remarkable how effortlessly they seem like they're running. And it's not that the Americans are not bad runners, Tom, but these runners are just on a different level. The way they train, the way they compete, they come over here to Boston to win. I mean, and there's so many runners they can send over. They could send 100 runners over here that probably could win this race. That's how deep they are. But I am going to say this. I'm going to leave on this. Meb Keflezighi winning in 2014 is the greatest marathon moment ever. And nothing's ever going to be able to top that because he put the whole world on his back in that 2014 race because he was there in 2013 when the horrible events happened. And that is the greatest. He was 40 years old when he won that Boston Marathon.
I
And
agree.
then he,
That was amazing when he won it. And what's funny, he ran it this year, 10
yep,
years later,
and he only added an hour to his total time, which I don't think is very bad at all.
No, it's not. And you know what? He was going back up on the road. He was high-fiving the runner. I mean, what a surreal experience. If you're finishing this race, you see Med Kovleski coming at you, holding his hands out, giving you a high five. I mean, he didn't have to do that, but he's just a good guy. And I know you had a chance to interview him.
Yep.
That must have been a tremendous interview.
It was very cool. It was a great interview. I want to say it was back in 2016, maybe. We'll have to dig up the segment, and
I got to see this interview because it really must have been.
I'll
He
send it
answers
to you.
all the questions. He never makes any excuses. You know, he cares about all the runners, and not that all the other professionals don't, but just winning what he pulled off in 2014. You know, you may not see another American win it again. I mean, I know you never say never, but man, nothing can top it.
Well, I
It's
know
like
that,
just like 28-3 with the Patriots. What can top that? Nothing.
right?
You
Well, I
know what
know
I mean?
the top American this year finished 7th, I believe.
CJ Albertson.
Yeah.
And he's a very good runner. He's run. This is like his third top 10 finish, I believe. But again, it's just it's so hard to win this race. I mean, everything has to go your way, and everything. It's just such a tough course. I mean, what I walked it 2 years ago, by the way, and then I really get to see just how hard this course is going up Heartbreak Hill 20 miles into the race. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
just
I think why Kenya and Ethiopia dominate so much is because in those countries, when they're growing up, they're running, they're participating in running. That's their sport over there. That's a huge sport in Ethiopia and Kenya.
national sport.
Here you got baseball, football, basketball, so you're not necessarily going for marathon distance or trying to win a 26-mile race.
No,
It's just kind of something that I think people do at some point in their lives. And, obviously the Olympic runners, they probably participated, a lot of them in track in high school,
oh sure.
or they were just really fast and decided to get into marathoning. But I think you do it, you running's a national sport over there. I think that's the big difference.
There's no question about it. Like I said, they've just that's what they do once they're born. They start running, and it's not going to slow down anytime soon. It's just their dominance is absolutely incredible. But I also want to congratulate, like you just mentioned, the runners who run this race who don't run to win it, or some that do qualify to get it for time. And how about the ones that run for charity?
Mhm.
Almost a half of $1 billion has been raised since 1989 when the charity program came in. That is extraordinary. How much money has been raised to help charities and to help people. And it's something to really be proud of when you're able to raise money, knowing that your running is making a difference in people's lives. I mean, though, a lot of these people work full-time jobs. They have families and they're training to run this race. And you never know what the weather you're going to get. I was there in 2018 when we had like a hurricane come through, and I was working at a water stop. The worst weather I have ever seen. The year Des Linden won,
I
which
remember
was
that.
just
That was crazy that year.
crazy.
My
And how about
my yard was literally flooded as
yeah,
the marathon was going
and
on.
I was in Ashland working the water stop. All the cups and water were just blowing all over the place. It was surreal. And how about we also talked about this Marcel Hug from Switzerland in the wheelchair race,
Yes.
crashing and winning the race. That guy is tough as nails. Let me tell you.
And during the broadcast, which I watched pretty much the entire thing, they didn't even catch the crash initially. Obviously, they were able to grab the footage of it, but they didn't even notice it as it happened. And then they were informed after the fact. But then he still won by, I think it was over a minute. He still managed to win. So, and he
Incredible.
broke the record too. He broke his own record.
To see them up close in person too, how fast those wheelchairs are going is
Get him back.
unreal. The upper body strength they have is it's insane. I met Tatiana McFadden a few years ago at the Martin Richard Mile. Nice, great person, but just the upper body strength is just
Oh, yeah.
it is incredible to see. And the woman who won from Great Britain
Yeah.
this year, she didn't even have a sponsor.
Wow. She will now.
Yes, she will now. But what a great story, though. I mean, it's not cheap to fly over here to get to this race as it is from if you're coming from Europe. But it just goes to show you all the hurdles and boundaries that people have to get, even professionally, to get and win Boston. So it's really a race for everybody. It really is.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Uh, it's always just such great memories at every marathon. I mean, cool things happen every year, and I think that's why people love it so much. And it's also the toughest marathon course that I've heard, and that's why I think it's the most famous marathon, partly because it is such a tough, grueling course.
Grueling.
It's not anyone can just go do it. It takes a lot of training.
No, you talk to even professionals, and they say the same thing. It's grueling. It's just the course will punish you if you don't run it correctly, or it just. But you know,
And
and
I
I
want to
agree.
correct myself. You won by just over 5 minutes in front of the second place finisher.
After
So
a
he just
crash.
burned by everybody. And on top of that, he had the crash, right?
Wow.
It's
I mean,
second place was
now
an American, by the way, Daniel Romanchuk.
Daniel Romanchuk from Illinois. He was a former champion as well. Very talented rider. But Hugh is just right now. He's just on another level, and it just goes to show you when Ernst van Dijk from South Africa had that dominance. I think he won like 10 Boston marathons or something. It's just ridiculous. It's the wheelchair race has become extremely popular, not just here in Boston, but all over the country. I mean, every major marathon has the wheelchair races offered, which is
They
really
should have that as a regular sport. Have like a league. That'd be pretty awesome.
you know
They
I
might
would
already
they
somewhere.
might. I'm not really sure, but I wouldn't be surprised at that. And but again, just congratulations to everybody who finished
Absolutely. And I do want to
and
mention the women's elite runner finish was very impressive.
was
It was two Kenyans that finished first and second, and the first place finisher finished just 8 seconds in front of the second place finisher, Sharon Loketti. The one who won it was Helen O'Beary.
Mhm.
But what a final stretch that was for those two runners. They were
Yeah.
neck and neck.
Oh, the adrenaline coming down Boylston Street is just got to be, it's very similar to when Alberto Salazar and Dick Beardsley did it in 1982 when they were 1 second apart. They called it the duel in the sun. And Dick Beardsley said, I had nothing left, nothing when I crossed the finish line. And he said you can't even describe it. I mean, just how exhausted you are after
Oh yeah.
26 miles and sprinting to
That's
try to win.
why the person in first, they probably like it when they got a few minutes on the second place guy, because then they don't have to go into a full out sprint to to win it.
Oh, at that point, it's like you hate to see somebody lose just because of the just how hard it is to do that after your body is just physically it's just exhausted at that point. I mean,
To me, everyone that finished the marathon is a winner, even if they tried to finish and got close or just couldn't for whatever reason. But just anyone that ran the course, I mean, congratulations, kudos to you.
absolutely.
Very impressive stuff. But another great Boston Marathon in the books, and we'll have more great